And I think what we really got at last week, and is still the case now from what we're hearing, is Trump has kind of been thrown on his heels by this, and he's not really sure how to go after Vice President Harris. He knew his attack lines on President Biden. He really has struggled with how to go after someone who's 20 years younger than him, who is a different gender, a different race. It's kind of been this moment where he has not been able to coalesce around a single attack line.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. Oh, I know. CNN makes a... I know.
Was that supposed to be a laugh line?
I wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
That's CNN host and establishment media puppet Kaitlan Collins getting a healthy dose of reality after being laughed at when Stephen Colbert said her network reported objective news. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and it looks like even the trained SEALs in Colbert's audience know that CNN is a joke. Because Collins can't help but distort the truth and tell lie after lie about Republicans in the softball interview with Colbert.
But J.D. Vance is out doing a lot more press than Donald Trump is right now. Do you have any idea of, like, do you hear why that might be? Are they just sort of shoving him out there and saying, J.D., you get out there and walk into those rotating, blades. And once everything, because right now there's so much momentum on the Democratic side, that it's kind of a bit of a fool's errand to try to blunt it right now. Yeah,
you're seeing J.D. Vance kind of single-handedly trying to take the headlines back. I mean, this is unfamiliar territory for Donald Trump, where he's not in the headlines. And actually, I watched the interview that you did with Abby Phillip, my colleague, when she was here. You predicted this. I don't know if you remember this, but I did my research, and you predicted that if Harris became the nominee, that there would be a lot of enthusiasm behind her, and that Donald Trump would not be able to break into the headlines. And that's where he is right now.
Right. He's always been able to grab the news cycle, and he can't. He's tried a couple of crazy statements lately, but people are much more excited about what's happening with the Democratic ticket.
Yeah, and he's just seeing someone with enthusiasm and with crowds has really set him off in a way that it's just... I've covered him for a very long time. I talked to a lot of people who speak to him regularly. He doesn't know really how to deal with it. Maybe he'll figure it out, and his advisors are confident he will, but it's been a struggle for him. And so Senator Vance has been out there. He did multiple interviews yesterday on the Sunday shows, answering questions more about his own past remarks than really anything what they're doing when it comes to policy, which they'd rather be talking about.
It's a little funny to me that immediately after this was recorded, Trump did a space on X with Elon Musk that generated over 1 billion views and triggered liberals so bad that they wrote dozens of articles about it, had temper tantrums on TV, and asked the White House if it was possible to shut it down. But of course, prior to that, Trump already had them huffing and puffing about his comments at the National Association of Black Journalists and generating free wall-to-wall coverage of his Mar-a-Lago presser. I mean, even her whole appearance on The Late Show has been all about Trump, not the lame Democrat nominee that there's supposedly so much enthusiasm about, Trump. So call me crazy, but it seems to me like he's had no issue playing establishment media like a fiddle again.
What is going on behind closed doors? Like, what are you hearing about the mood and the conversations going on that we don't see yet?
Inside Trump world?
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing just given the trajectory and how quickly things have changed since the convention, because at the convention, truly, normally I get multiple texts during the show or about interviews, complaints, they don't like how we phrase something or a question that we asked. That wasn't really the case during the convention, and they were kind of riding high, wind at their backs. The question was not if they would win, but by how much, and it's totally changed since then. And so I think the longer you cover him, the better you are at it, because you know what he's going to say, what he's going to do. I think, watching what he said about Harris and questioning her race and her identity, and, it's completely predictable and it is familiar to him. And so I think as long as you keep that in mind, you kind of go at covering him and you know what you're going to get probably.
Now,
you'll be surprised, but never shocked.
Did you think that Biden was going to step down? Did that take everybody over at CNN by surprise?
I don't think it took us by surprise. I think as a political reporter, the way to be smart and to have a long career is you don't make bets or assumptions. You just follow the story as it happens. But I was surprised when he tweeted it out, because that is not very Biden-esque. Like, normally he would call people to the Oval Office or have a press conference, but he was home sick, dealing with COVID still. And truly, he just tweeted it out. And all of our reporting had been basically for naught.
Yeah, by reporting, is she referring to them branding everything that highlighted Biden's cognitive decline as cheap fakes? Or is she talking about the manufactured pressure top Democrats likely told the media to put on Biden so he would step down? I mean, could this woman be any more of a political hack? All she did in this interview was say that Trump's predictable, scared, and irrelevant, while obsessively talking about him. Then she bashed JD Vance for doing too many interviews apparently, while pretending that he didn't mention policy, which he did. It was the media that was incessantly trying to prevent him from doing so. And keep in mind, this is all while ignoring the fact that Kamala Harris hasn't done a single interview yet. Then after doing all of this, Colin acts confused and upset when the audience laughed at the notion of her telling the truth. But let me know what you think. Is there anyone in establishment media that's remotely close to objective? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!